I've been using Capital for the past 60 days and now I'm ready to tell you my honest review. First, I'm gonna give you an overview of this prop firm. Then I'm going to show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow. After that, I'm going to log in my account to show you the backend and to give you an idea of all the instruments that you can trade and the spreads that you can expect to get. And finally, I'm gonna tell you what in my opinion are all the pros and cons about this prop firm. If at any point during this video you also would like to try Capital, you can do so by clicking the first link in the video description. And once you get a checkout, if you select Think Trader as your trading platform, you can use the promo code STK, like you see right now on the screen, to receive a 5% discount on all your challenges. So, if you're serious about trying Capital, I suggest you follow these steps. And now, let's start with the review. I'm currently on the home page of Capital, and the first thing that we can notice is that this prop firm gives you the opportunity to have a free trial. In fact, by simply clicking this button and creating an account, you're gonna be able to try Capital completely for free for 10 days. If we scroll down, we can also see that this prop firm is backed by the broker Think Market, and in my opinion this is a huge pro because it means that this prop firm won't have any liquidity problems when it comes to pay its profitable trader. Additionally, as you can see, they allow you to trade directly from TradingView, and personally I find this a huge pro because in my opinion currently TradingView is the best charting tool on the market. The charts are smooth, are easy to understand, are user friendly, and especially if you're a complete beginner, I think it's the best platform for starting out. And later on in the video I'm going to log in into my Capital account that I have with TradingView, and I'll show you exactly how the platform works and how to use it. As you can see, they allow you to manage up to $600,000. They have a profit sharing up to 90%. The payout frequency is 14 days, and they give you the opportunity to scale up to 1.5 million. Two more numbers that I would like to point out about Capital are 383 and 4.7. In fact, as you can see from the Trustpilot page of Capital, this prop firm was able to accumulate more than 380 reviews with an average score of 4.7, which of course is a sign of a reliable and trustworthy prop firm. Lastly, before showing you what type of challenges Capital offer, I would like to talk briefly about their Discord server. Personally, I found this server really good, and one thing that I especially liked is the fact that they have an entire category called Trading Floor, where every single channel is just dedicated to trading. In fact, as you can see here on the left, the various categories are psychology, trade ideas, trade of the week, and also book club. I find this really interesting because I've noticed that a lot of prop firms have Discord server where the focus is not on trading, and in my opinion this is a huge error because most of the people that join these communities usually they want to improve as a trader, they want to make sure that the prop firm is trustworthy and reliable, and then they want to stay updated on all the latest news related to the firm. So as you can see here in the channel called Achievements, every day there are screenshots posted of people that received a payout, and this of course not only is a huge motivation because it shows that it's possible to make money prop trading, but most importantly it shows that Capital pay out this trader, and so that you can purchase a challenge and being confident that if you follow all the rules and manage to get to the fund stage, you're then also gonna be able to get paid. Finally, the last channel that I would like to point out is the Hangout chat. This is a place that is less formal. In fact, you can just come here, hang out with other traders, talk about things that maybe are not related to trading itself, you know, and just being part of the community. Again, I think that only a small percentage of traders are probably going to hang out in this space, and most of them are more interested in, you know, seeing payouts, maybe improve as trader and being updated on all the latest news. But as I told you before, overall, I think that this is a good Discord server, and if you're serious about trying Capital, you should definitely join and try to log in at least daily. So now that I give you an overview of Capital, let's talk about the challenges that they offer. So as you can see, currently there are three different options. You have the Lighting Challenge, which is basically a one-step challenge, the Dual Step, which is a two-step challenge, and the Nexus, which is a three-step challenge. And all of them goes from $5,000 till $200,000. Now, talking about the Lighting Challenge, as you can see, you have a minimum trading days of 3 to complete it. The profit target for phase 1 is 10%, we have a maximum leverage of 1 to 30, the daily loss limit is 3%, and what I really like about this daily loss limit is that it's not calculated based on the highest equity or balance of the day, but is actually calculated on the initial balance of the days, and personally I find this a huge pro and something that more prop firms should start implementing. When it comes to the maximum loss limit is 6%, and in this case this drawdown is trailing, so this means that it's going to follow you until your profit percentage challenge is the same of your maximum loss percentage. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you have a $100,000 account. The trailing drawdown is going to follow you until your total balance is $106,000. At that point, the maximum loss limit is going to lock there and is not going to follow you anymore. The profit split is up to 90%, but only if you purchase the add-on, and the payout frequency is 14 days, but if you purchase the add-ons, you can reduce it to 7 days. Now, talking about the dual step challenge, as you can see, the minimum trading days is still 3. The profit target for phase 1 is 8%, while the profit target for phase 2 is 5%. You have a maximum leverage of 1 to 100. The daily loss limit has the same rules as the lighting challenge, and in this case is 4%. The maximum loss limit is 8%, and also in this case it follows the same rules of the lighting challenge. The profit split is up to 90%, and the payout frequency again is 14%, but if you purchase the add-on, you can reduce it to 7 days. Finally, the Nexus challenge has a minimum trading days of 3. The profit target for phase 1 is 7%, profit target for phase 2 is 6%, the profit target for phase 3 is 5%, the maximum leverage allowed is 1 to 100, daily loss limit is 4% with the same rules of the other two challenges, the maximum loss limit is 8% and again it has the same rules of the other challenges, the profit split is up to 90% if you purchase the add-on, and the payout frequency is 14 days as a standard, but again if you purchase the add-on you can reduce it to 7 days. So now that you know all the conditions of the challenges, let me show you a few rules that you need to be aware of if you decide to trade with Fin Capital. So the first thing that you need to know is that news trading is not allowed unless you purchase the add-on. In fact, as a standard, as you can see here, you're not allowed to open, close or modify the trades 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after a red folder event. But if you purchase the add-on, these rules is going to be completely eliminated and you won't have any limitation when it comes to news trading. Next, let's talk about the consistency rule. And the good news is that when it comes to Fin Capital, there is no consistency rule that you need to follow. The only thing that you need to keep in mind is that your strategy needs to be profitable and easy to replicate. Also, when it comes to holding trade overnight or over the weekend, there is no limitation and you are freely to manage your trade as you prefer. Now let's talk about the trading strategies that are prohibited inside Fin Capital and that can get your account terminated. Personally, while I was going through this page, I haven't found nothing groundbreaking. In fact, most of the rules are the same that all the other prop firms share. The only one that you should be aware is the one related to copy trading. In fact, here it says that copy trading is not allowed, but if you dig a bit deeper, there are actually a few rules that you need to follow if you want to engage in this practice. More specifically, you are allowed to copy trade between Fin Capital account, but when it comes to copy trading between your Fin Capital account and accounts that you have with other brokers or other prop firms, the rules that you need to follow is that your Fin Capital account always need to be the master. So this means that you're gonna place your trades on your Fin Capital accounts and then all the other accounts are going to copy it. You cannot do the opposite. So this means that you cannot have a master account with another prop firm and have your Fin Capital account connected to that and copying the trades that you place over there. And additionally, as you can see, if you want to be able to engage in copy trading, you also need to select the AI add-on once you are at checkout. Lastly, let's talk about what Fin Capital consider gambling or reckless trading. Again, while I was going through this page, I haven't found nothing groundbreaking. In fact, most of the practices that Fin Capital consider gambling are pretty common and most of the other prop firms in the industry share them. But one of the things that you need to be aware of is what Fin Capital categorize as excessive scalping. In fact, as you can see here, if a trader places 100 trades with over 50 of them closed in less than 60 seconds, this is considered excessive scalping. And in my opinion, the keyword is less than 60 seconds. In fact, usually it's not so much about how many trades you place, but for how long you hold them. So in my opinion, if you want to be completely safe when it comes to Fin Capital, you should try to always hold trades for more than 60 seconds. In this way, you won't have any risk of being classified as a gambler or a reckless trader, and you will receive your funded account and your payouts without any delays or any friction. Now that I give you an overview of Fin Capital, I show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow, let me log in my account to give you a tour of the backend. I'm currently inside my Fin Capital account, and as you can see, the first thing that you can do once you log in is purchase a new challenge. Remember that if you select FinTrader as your trading platform, you can use the coupon code STK to receive a 5% discount on all your challenges. Below this section, you have the section related to your profile. Here you can basically modify all your information, and it's really important that all the information that you put in this section match the ones on your identity documents, because once you're gonna do the know your customer verification, the two need to match, otherwise you're gonna have some problems. So below the profile section, you have all the section related to your current challenge. For example, if I click here on dashboard, as you can see, I have an overview of the latest challenge that I purchased. As you can see, it was a $100,000 challenge, and since I still haven't placed any trades, all the information are still zero. But as soon as I start placing trades and my P&L is going to update, all this information here is going to populate to give me a more detailed overview of my trading account. Below the dashboard, I have the option to access the web trader, which is basically where you're going to place the trades. And don't worry, because later on I'm actually going to log in my account to show you also how that look. Below it you have the analysis hub. Personally, I found this one of the best analytic tools among all the proffer. The amount of information are even more details. In fact, as you can see, if I scroll down here, I can have even a panoramic view of all the trades that I open in the various days. I can have an idea of all my trading position, and I can also write some notes. So I think that you should definitely take advantage of all the information that you have here, because if you know how to use them, they're going to definitely help you become a better trader. Below the analysis hub, you have the section related to your accounts. You can see all your certification, and then if you click here where it says trading tool, you have access to things like the economic calendar. You can see all the top stories, and you can also have access to a forex cross rates and heat map. Again, these are all analytics tools that you can have access completely for free on the internet, but it's also nice to have them inside your backend. Below the trading tools, you can see all your orders, you can manage your payouts, and as I was telling you before, you can also complete the know your customer verification. Finally, you have access to the support, and then there is a section related to all the things legal, like for example, you can read the term and condition, you can see the privacy policy, cookie policy, so all the things that usually nobody care about, but they are still here, so if you're curious about them, you can come there and read them. So now that I give you an overview of the backend of FinCapital, that as you've seen is pretty minimalistic and straightforward, let me log in my account and let me give you a tour of the FinCapital trading platform. So this is the FinCapital trading platform. As you can see here at the top, it is powered by FincMarket, which is the broker behind FinCapital, and the charts are provided by TradingView, which in my opinion is a huge pro, because as you can see, they are really smooth, they are easy to personalize. Here on the left you have access to all your drawing tools, like for example, you can add trend lines, ray, extended line, you can add the Fibonacci retracement, you can add for example, you can decide if you want to put the long position or a short position, you can freehand draw. So basically you can do a lot of things that people that are familiar with TradingView will probably love and appreciate. Here at the top, as you can see, you can change your time frame. So in this case, every candle is an hour, but if I want a more granular view, for example, I can change it so now every single candle is 15 minutes. I can change how the chart look. In this case, I'm looking at candles, but if I want, I can change it to bars. I can also add various indicators. As you can see here, these are all the indicators that are also available inside the TradingView. Here I can see the pair I'm currently looking at, and if I want, I can open a sell or a buy position in a really rapid way. But if I want to customize more the type of order that I want to do, I just need to click on this arrow, and as you can see now, I can decide what type of order I want to open. I can decide the amount, and I can, for example, set my take profit. I can set my stop loss. Now let me close this section. Here on the left of the screen, as you can see, there are all the pairs that I can trade. These are only the one inside the market watch category, but if I click on this globe, here I have the entire list of all the instruments. They are divided in categories. For example, I can see all the riser, I can see all the fallers, and then if I want to see, for example, all the forex pair, the indices, the metals, the energy, I just need to click on them. And let's say, for example, that I'm interested in trading AUD JPY, I can simply click on this plus, and now this pair is going to appear in the other menu. Let's say, for example, I also want to see Euro AUD, I want to trade Euro JBP, I want to do Euro JPY. So as you can see, I'm selecting all of them. Euro USD is already selected, JBP AUD, and also let's do, for example, JBP JPY. So now that I've selected it, if I go back to the trade section, as you can see, all the pair that I selected previously has now appeared here, and between the sell and the buy button, I can see what is the current spread of that pair. For example, JBP USD, currently the spread is 1, AUD JPY, currently the spread is 1.3, Euro JBP 1.2, Euro JPY 1.3, GBP/USD 2.4, and so on. When it comes to gold, the spread is currently 20. So overall, I will say that the spreads are good. Maybe they are not the best in the entire prop firm industry, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I think that they are relatively good, and most importantly are good enough to allow you to trade profitably, which is of course is ultimately our goal when it comes to prop firm trading. So I wouldn't stress too much about these spreads. I think that they are good, and if you have a profitable strategy, you shouldn't have any problem trading with this condition. Now below the globe, as you can see, we have the calendar. In fact, we have access to the economic calendar, and of course there are various filters that we can apply, like for example, if you only want to see the high impact news and what country are going to be more impacted by this type of news. And below the calendar there is the traders gym. This personally is another huge feature that I wish more prop firms incorporated. In fact, if I click on Traders Gym, what this allows me to do is basically create a simulation where I can test a trading strategy. In fact, for example, this is the latest simulation that I created. It goes from February 1 till March 3 of this year. It's on the pair Euro AUD, and as you can see, this is the chart. If I click on this play button, as you can see, it's going to start moving, and if I want, I can speed it up. Let's say I go to 50x and I click play. As you can see now, it's going really fast, and each one of these candles is 1 minute. If I want, I can simply change it. Let's say for example now every candle is 10 minutes. Again, I can change the speed, let's say 5x, click play, and as you can see now the price is moving and is following these criteria. And again, I have the option to open position so that I can test my strategies. And to create a new simulation is really easy. I just need to click here where it says add simulation. I can select the pair that I want to look at. Let's say for example that I want to do a simulation on gold. I just need to click on it. Here, as you can see, I can select the name. I can select the time frame that I want to be loaded. Let's say that I'm a scalper. Maybe I'm gonna just to select for example, starting from 1 minute. So in this way, I can see all the time frame. I can select the intervals, and I can select where I want the simulation to start. Then I just need to click create, and the simulation is going to appear here, and then I can start using it. And below the Trader Gym, I have access to the Think Academy, which is basically a series of tutorials that show me how to use this trading platform. So overall, as I told at the beginning, I really enjoy this trading platform. I like the fact that it's really user-friendly, easy to understand. The charts are from TradingView. If I had to select FinCapital as my prop firm, I will definitely select this as my favorite trading platform. So now that I give you an overview of FinCapital, I show you what type of challenges they offer and what are the rules that you need to follow. I log in my account to show you the backend and to give you an idea of all the instruments that you can trade and the spreads that you can expect to get. Let me tell you what in my opinion are all the pros and cons about this prop firm. So the first pro is that this prop firm offer a free trial. In fact, by simply clicking the free trial button in the home page, you're gonna be able to try this prop firm completely for free for 10 days. And in my opinion, this is a huge pro because it's gonna help you familiarize with the platform and most importantly, understand if this is the right prop firm based on your trading style. The second pro of this prop firm is the daily drawdown. In fact, contrary to all the other prop firms where the daily drawdown is based on the highest point of the day, when it comes to FinCapital, the daily drawdown is based on the initial balance of the day. And this is a huge pro because it means that as you increase your balance, your buffer zone is going to increase accordingly, giving you a lot more room for errors and making it harder to fail the challenge. The third pro of this prop firm is the fact that news trading is allowed. In fact, if you purchase the add-on, not only you're going to be able to trade through the news, but you are actually going to be able to trade the news. And this is really important, especially if you are one of those traders that like to take advantage of the volatility created during news event. And lastly, the fourth pro of this prop firm is the fact that there is no consistency rule. This is a huge pro because it means that you have more freedom when it comes to trading and you don't need to close trades in advance simply because you need to follow a specific rules, and you can let winners run, accumulating profit without any limitation. Now let's talk about the cons of FinCapital. Personally, the only cons that I found about this prop firm is the fact that scalping is not allowed. Or better said, if you tend to hold trades for less than 60 seconds, you might be marked as a gambler trader, and this might create some problems when it comes to receive your payouts or receive your funded accounts. So if you're somebody that on average tend to hold trades for a really small amount of time, this might not be the prop firm for you because long term you might incur in some problem. On the contrary, if you tend to hold trades for 5, 10 or 15 minutes, of course this won't be a problem for you and you can use FinCapital without any limitation. So, there you have it. This was my review of Think Capital. As I told you at the beginning, if you also would like to try this prop firm, you can do so by clicking the first link in the video description. And once you get at the checkout page, if you select Think Trader as your trading platform, you can use the promo code STK, like you see right now on the screen, to receive a 5% discount on all your challenges. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and until next time, happy trades!